Hey guys, I'm Maggie and this is Yoga for Artists. In today's practice, we're going to work on getting some strength and mobility throughout our entire spine, which of course includes our neck. So for today's practice, I do have a ruler here. You can use anything that's kind of just a long, thin object. A wooden spoon or, a paintbrush or something will do, but I think most people have a ruler somewhere in their house. So go ahead and grab something and then we will go ahead and begin. Okay, so we'll just begin seated on our mats. Try and find a position where your spine can be nice and long here. You can be cross-legged. Maybe your legs will be a little bit extended, just wherever you need to be so that you're not kind of slouching back. You want to sit up nice, long, and tall. And right away, we're going to start with some spinal movements here. So we're just going to start to send the spine from side to side here. So imagine that your tailbone is rooted into the ground and your spine is like a tail that's just waving back and forth. So you want the motion to start at your tailbone and ripple all the way up the spine. And let it be nice and fluid. And don't worry too much about it looking perfect or feeling perfect. Just kind of get your momentum going and then let it just flow back and forth. And slowly allow that to stop and just take a moment to close your eyes and feel that movement just kind of settle. So for the next one, I'll turn to the side so you can see a little bit better. You're going to start by tilting your tailbone forward, sending the chest forward, and arching the back as you come forward, and then tuck the tailbone under, draw the belly button to the spine, round the head and shoulders forward. And then we're going to kind of speed it up like we did with the last movement. So you're starting from the tailbone and letting this movement kind of ripple up your spine. So heart comes forward as you come forward, and the spine rounds as you come back. Moving from the tailbone and rippling all the way up through the crown of your head. Next time you come to the top, pause, and you're going to kind of reverse it. So start by tucking the chin into the chest, rounding forward. Imagine like you're diving underneath a wave and then coming up for air as you come back. So again, fluid motion. This one is actually guided more by your head, as before we were guiding by the tailbone. Start with your head and round through. So just moving the spine through a bunch of different ranges of motion here to just kind of get things warmed up. And then bring yourself all the way up, close your eyes, and just feel that movement kind of settle within the body. And now we're going to take our whole spine in a nice big circle. So imagine your tailbone is nice and rooted and the crown of your head is reaching up towards the ceiling, and then your whole spine is going to kind of turn around like you're stirring a big pot. So it's almost like the movement is starting from the middle of the spine, and your head and your tailbone are kind of rooted to the same spot. So you can really feel those abdominal muscles kind of wrapping and churning around the spine. And then next time you come forward, pause, and then reverse it. And this can look kind of silly. It can feel kind of silly. Lean into it. Maybe get your shoulders involved if it feels good. And then slowly let that stop. Let your eyes close and just feel that movement come to a close within the body. Good. From here, you're going to take your arms up and out to the side. Interlace them behind your head. And I want you to kind of use your fingers along the back of your neck to imagine that you're spreading length along the back of your neck. So they're not just resting here. They're here for awareness as to whether or not we're kind of crunching into the back of the neck here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to send the chest forward, so tilt the pelvis forward so that you open up across the heart. Send your elbows back behind you. So you're arching the back here, and then those fingers are there for awareness. So you are throwing your head back, but those fingers are keeping you from compressing into the back of the neck, keeping the neck as an extension of your spine here. And then you're going to tuck the tailbone under, round everything forward. And you might kind of let the hands come up towards the back of the head to kind of stretch along the back of the neck here. And then we're going to add breath. So as we inhale, we're going to open up, keep that length along the back of the neck, open the elbows out. And then as we breathe out, we're going to tuck and round everything in. Good. Follow the path of your own breath. You may or may not be going at the same pace that I am. Just try and get that nice fluid movement and full range of motion through the spine. Good. Round forward, drop the hands, slowly roll yourself all the way up. And then you're just going to circle your head around. So make a nice full circle with your nose going all the way around. But imagine that those fingers are still behind your neck. So you're not crunching your neck all the way back. You have that extension. So we are stretching in all different directions, but we're not compressing into that back of the neck. And then reverse those circles in the opposite direction. And then bring the head through center. Maybe just gently look from side to side. Good. Go ahead and grab your ruler or a dowel or whatever your object is that you have chosen here. And you're going to take it between your palms and press the palms into each other here and bring the thumbs to rest on your sternum. So right about at heart center. And then your ruler or whatever it is you're using is going to be in line with your nose. So this is here to kind of help guide us. We're going to inhale, lift the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to start to twist to your right, but without this happening. So you don't want your head to turn away from your ruler. You don't want your hands to go past your nose. You want to keep that sternum right and in line with the nose, and you're just twisting from those low belly muscles and just using the spine to twist rather than the shoulders. A lot of times in these twists, we kind of yard our shoulders all the way over and then pull everything else into place. Here we really want to be using those abdominal muscles to lift up and lengthen as we breathe in, and then squeeze them out and use just those abdominal muscles to twist us to the side. Good. As you inhale, you come back through center. On your exhale, you go over to the other side. Good. Really lengthen up with each inhale. Exhale, maybe twist a little deeper. Good. Going back to the first side. And breathing fully all the way through and using that breath to your advantage, really lengthening on the inhale, twisting on the exhale. Good. Inhale through middle, exhale to the other side. Good. Inhale through middle, exhale back over to the right. And now this time, once you kind of reach your edge here, you're going to take those palms and press them all the way over to the right. So then you're getting kind of a stretch into the shoulders and the arms here as well. Keep that head in line and then look over the shoulder. And breathe here. And notice where you feel it. And it might not be where you expect. That's okay. Just breathe into it wherever it is. Good. Bring that ruler back in line with the sternum. Keep your twist thumb. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, other side. Breathe in, lengthen up. And as you exhale, press those palms all the way to the left. Find your positioning here, and then let that nose follow and look out over that left shoulder. Good. Bring the thumbs back towards the sternum. Turn the head. Keep that twist. Lengthen up. Come through center. And release that down. Go ahead and extend your legs out in front of you. Set your ruler or whatever you're using to the side. Kind of adjust your seat here so that the tailbone can kind of lightly stick back. The pelvis can tilt forward. Bring the belly to the thighs and fold forward. You can keep your knees quite bent here. This is the first forward fold of the practice, so don't feel like you have to get your knee all the way to your head. You really want to think about lengthening up, sending the tailbone back. Good, and keep that neck as an extension of your spine. So instead of doing this, think about really lengthening from tailbone all the way through the crown of your head. And breathe. Draw the shoulders back. If your hands are on the floor, imagine that you're using them to pull your chest forward through your hands. Feet are flexed here. And you're breathing. Good. Make your way all the way up. Swing the legs around and come to a tabletop position. So wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Draw the belly button up and in. Really press the ground away here. And then as you inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, drop the belly, draw the chest to the gaze, the arms look up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under, draw the belly button to the spine, round the head and shoulders forward. Good, so breathing into that cat-cow. So inhaling, arching the back, look up. Imagine those fingers are still along the back of your neck throughout this. Exhale, round into that cat pose. Good, so as you inhale into that cat pose, imagine those fingers along the back of your neck. Your neck is looking up, but don't crunch or kink into the back of the neck. Keep that smooth line of the spine. Good. Follow your own breath here. You may or may not be going at the same pace as me. Breathing in, arching, opening across the front body. Exhaling, tucking, rounding, opening across the back body. Really let this movement start from the tailbone and ripple itself all the way up your spine. Last time, round into that cat pose. Really press the ground away. And then find that neutral spine and safely and carefully make your way all the way down onto your belly. You want your fingertips right in line with your shoulders. Forehead is on the ground. You're going to rotate up so just your nose is now touching the ground. And then rotate up a little bit more so just the chin is touching the ground. And here you have your neck movement. So you're not going to crane your neck any more than where it's at right now. You're going to use the strength of your back and lift the chest up off the floor. So we're not craning our neck up here. We're keeping it nice and aligned. An extension of that spine. Think about the elbows drawing down towards your toes. Good. And if you can, lift your fingers up off the ground. If you can't lift them up, set them back down, come down a little bit, find a place where you can find that strength in your back, and then lift those arms. Good. Go ahead and draw yourself all the way back down. Good. And again, rotate up, forehead, nose, chin, chest lifts. This time, bring your arms to a gold post position and send the elbows back behind you. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Really press the tops of the feet into the floor. You don't want them lifting here. You're using your upper back. Good. Squeeze those shoulder blades together even more. And then pulse them. Little pulses. And keep breathing. Good. Let the arms come down. Bring the forehead back towards the floor. You can stack your hands, rest your forehead on your hands, bend at the knees, and just gently windshield wipe the legs from side to side, helping to release into the back here. Good. Extend those legs out. And again, rotate up, forehead, nose, chin, chest, lift. This time, extend the arms straight out in front of you and lift them up a little bit more. Press the tops of the feet into the floor, and you're going to pulse those arms up and down here, using slightly different muscle groups, strengthening those shoulders. These are the muscles that hold us up when we work. We want them to be strong. Good. Relax the arms down. Peel the chest back down onto the floor. Rest the head on the hand. Windshield wipe the legs out. Good. Extend the legs out behind you. Rotate up, forehead, nose, chin, chest, lift. Take the arms back behind you, palms face towards the ceiling. And again, lift them up a little higher. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and pulse. Really think about creating this movement from the shoulder blades. So you're not just using your arms here. You're really squeezing those shoulder blades together throughout this movement. Relax the arms down. Slowly let your body come down. Rest the forehead on the hands. Windshield wipe the legs from side to side. Good. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Press yourself back into a child's pose. So hips towards heels. Heart and forehead melt towards the floor. If you like, you can bend at the elbows, bring the palms together, and create kind of a little shark fin here for a bit of an extra stretch into the triceps. Good. You're going to bring yourself all the way up. Come back down onto your belly. And you're going to bring your arms down by your side. And this is going to feel a little awkward, but you're going to roll onto your right side. So your arm is underneath you. And again, this is meant to feel awkward. It should feel awkward. Putting ourselves in awkward positions helps us grow. And we're going to strengthen our neck here in a position that we probably are not in very often. So really try to keep your body nice and as straight as possible, as rigid as possible. Feet are flexed. And you're going to dip that right ear down towards the floor. And then you're going to draw the left ear up towards the left shoulder. So we do these movements when we're seated a lot. But here we're just going to rotate that head back and forth slowly, lifting. Gravity is affecting it in a very different way right now. So we're really strengthening those muscles along the sides of the neck here. Good. Do 3 more. Good. And you're going to just come up to seat for a moment and take that right ear towards the right shoulder and stretch that neck out. Extend the left fingertips out and away. So now stretching those neck muscles that we were just working. Good. Release that. Turn to look over that right shoulder and then look straight down. Hand comes back to rest. Stretching in a slightly different area. Good. Go ahead and release. And we'll make our way right over to the other side. So laying down on that left side. Again, a little awkward. Perching on top of that arm like this. Balancing as best as you can. This is a balance pose, even though we're lying down. We're trying to kind of keep all those core muscles tight so we don't tip over. Feet are flexed here. Woo! And I am tipping over. There we go. Balancing on that arm. And then starting to do those head dips. Oh, my balance on this side is not very good, which is normal. Know that if it feels awkward or that it's difficult to balance, that it's a good sign that you're doing something that's going to be helpful to your body. When something is difficult and we work through it, we know we're creating change. If we just do all the same easy, natural feeling things all the time, we'll never grow. Good. and relax it down. Bring yourself up. And then left ear to left shoulder. Extend the right arm out and away. Release, lift it up, turn to look over that left shoulder, drop the chin down, and again, stretch it out. Good, go ahead and release. We're gonna come back down onto our right side here, but this time we can rest on our elbow. So do look down your body and try to have a nice straight line. You don't wanna be jackknifing the body. You wanna be as straight as possible. You want that elbow right underneath the shoulder here. Try not to slouch. Try to kind of lift yourself up. Good, and now we're going to lift that left leg up, and we're going to send it forward, and then send it back. It's a small movement. You don't want to have a lot of movement in the torso. Send it forward, and send it back. You're just kind of moving from that leg, and this is helping not only to strengthen like the thighs, but it also is helping a lot for the low back as well. So you really don't want to feel yourself kind of curving and arching into the back as you send that heel back behind you. You're just moving from that hip muscle. Or from that hip joint, sorry. Not that it matters. As long as you're moving, something good is probably happening. Good. Press that heel back away from you. Good. And then come to your belly, rest the forehead on the hands, bend the elbows, and windshield wipe the legs from side to side. You can either roll over to your other side or turn on your mat, and we'll do that other side. So resting on that left elbow. Make sure your body's nice and straight. Make sure you're not slouching, lifting up, and lift that leg, and sending it back and forth. Trying to move the torso as little as possible. Helping out that low back. As well as getting a little bit of work into those outer thighs. I don't think any of us will complain about that. Good. Send it back one more time. Release it down. Come to your belly. Rest the forehead. Windshield wipe the legs from side to side. And then press back to your child's pose. And release that low back. Good. You're going to come up onto your knees now. And you want to have your hips right over your knees. So not too wide here. You want the knee right in line with the hip. And you want the ankles to go straight back behind you, parallel with one another. Bring your hands to your low back. And imagine that you're sending your belly button up towards your chin. So very lightly tucking the tailbone under. Pressing the hips forward and up, and then imagine that there's a string right on the center of your heart here, lifting your heart up towards the ceiling. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Don't think about sending your torso back. Think about sending the hips and the torso all up, up, up. Squeeze your legs together to help get a little bit of extra lift. Really think about drawing everything up. We don't want to be just going back like this, because I mean that's great for your quads, but right now we're trying to really lift and create extension in the spine. Good. And imagine those fingers are along the back of your neck. So if you do throw your head back, imagine those fingers are there preventing you from just dropping the head all the way back. We don't want to feel any compression there. Good, and then come all the way up, send the hips towards the heels. Find that child's pose. Good, bring yourself all the way up. Now, you have an option to just keep practicing that, or we can go to the next move. So on our inhale, what we're going to do is we're going to keep that lifting sensation across the front body, and we're going to send our arms up and overhead like this. And then as we exhale, we're going to send our hips towards our heels and bring our forehead to the floor. So we inhale, lift up, open across the front body, keep those hips pressing forward, and we exhale, find that child's pose. Good. So if you haven't already started, start to follow along with me, or you can just keep practicing that little baby camel with the hands in the small of the back for extra support. This can be quite a big range of movement, but I really suggest if you're at home that you start very small. Don't lean too far back. And over time, it may become a bigger motion, but keep that movement moving with the breath, and maybe do 3 more. Nice fluid motion that combines a lot of strength with the flexibility. So as we build our mobility, we also want to be making our body nice and strong so that we don't get injured. Last one, open up, open that heart to the sky. And then find that child's pose. Sink all the way down and just rest here. Really let that tailbone come towards the heels. And you can even bring your hands to your low back and give yourself a little bit of a massage here. And breathe. Good. Bring yourself up here. You're going to bring your forearms to the floor in front of you. You want your elbows right underneath your shoulders. And you're going to step your feet back and find a forearm plank here. And then right away, we're going to send the hips up towards the ceiling. You want to bring your head between your forearms in a perfect world. You might walk your feet in a little bit here. But think about sending that tailbone up towards the sky, finding your dolphin pose. So trying to create as much extension from the crown of your head up through the tailbone as possible. Good. This is quite a lot on the shoulders, so if at any point you want to come down in rest and child's pose, please do. Good. Drop the knees to the floor. Untuck the toes. Sit all the way back into your extended child's pose here. And you can bend at the elbows and create that little shark fin for the triceps if you like. Good. Start to bring yourself all the way back up nice and slowly. Give yourself plenty of time. Cross your legs in front of you or extend the legs out, whichever feels good. And just start to move into a bit of a cat-cow movement here. So as you inhale, send the heart up and forward. As you exhale, tug the tailbone around the spine. Good. Inhaling up. Exhaling, rounding back. Following the path of your breath here. And breathing through that nice fluid movement. Round one more time. Find that neutral spine. Extend the legs out in front of you. Adjust yourself a bit. And we'll return to that Paschimottanasana, folding forward. Good. Go ahead and spring yourself all the way up. And roll all the way down onto your back. Draw the knees into the chest and rotate from side to side. Maybe making circles with the knees if that feels good. And doing any final movements that you want to do before making your way to Shavasana, extending the legs out, letting the palms open up towards the ceiling. Let the back of the neck be long. Maybe even take your hands and adjust if you need to. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale out, let go of that physical practice. And allow yourself to sink into the mind, simply following the path of that breath as it travels in and as it travels out. Feel free to stay here for as long as you like. But if you're ready, you can just start to introduce movement back into the fingers and the toes, the wrists and ankles. Maybe moving into the neck, rotating from the hip a bit. And then gently, as you're ready, draw the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself one last little big hug here, maybe rocking from side to side. And then rolling off to one side, pressing yourself up to a seated position. Inhaling, gathering up anything positive you may have cultivated for yourself here today, and exhaling, sealing it down and within, knowing that you carry it with you everywhere you go. Thank you so much for joining me. The light within me sees the light within you. Namaste.